Hello, this is Pastor Nick Hood, and today I'm in front of the great Southeastern High School, home of the purple and white, the Jungleers, Detroit Public School. This school has one of the prettiest lunchrooms I've ever seen. Why do I know? Well, my youngest son, Noah, used to study academic games, compete in academic games, and this was one of the places where they competed. Mr. Alameen was the leader. I think he's now the principal of the school. And so I have fond memories here. But one of the things that caught my attention at this school is that it has some of the most beautiful ceramic tile I've ever seen in the lunchroom. And that's where the academic games team for Detroit would train. And so I had a little time sitting in there, and I would think about it, and I said, you know, man, this is beautiful. And so I've talked to some students from Southeastern. I said, what do you think about those beautiful, tiles? And in the lunchroom, and they looked at me and said, I never noticed them. And I said, you know why you didn't notice it? Because you're too busy noticing the girls or noticing the boys. But this school really has beautiful, beautiful tile work. And it kind of leads into the sermon that I'm preaching Sunday. My sermon Sunday is about Elijah. It's from 1 Kings chapter 19, where God finds Elijah hiding in a cave. And God says to Elijah, what are you doing here? He says, come out from the cave. Now, he's in the cave because he's running from Jezebel and Ahab. That's going to be one of the points in my sermon, that sometimes in life we feel like we need to just duck and hide. But at some point, God will call you out from your cave. And when God calls you out from the cave, it's so you can actually become the person that God has ordained that you might be. That's going to be one of the first points. Another point is that God tells him to come out from the cave because God himself is going to pass in front of the cave. And he can't see God if he's stuck in the cave. And so when Elijah comes out, what does he find? He finds that the wind is blowing terribly. It's blowing so strong, it's literally carving up the mountains. And then beyond the wind, but God is not in the wind. There's an earthquake. And the ground is tearing up. But even there, God is not in the earthquake. Number 3, fires break out all around. Maybe this is because of the earthquake, but God is not in the fire. And Elijah is just standing there because God has told him to come out because I'm getting ready to pass through in front of you. And number 4, what Elijah experiences is a small, still voice. That's what we hear in the King James Version. But in the New Revised Standard Version, which is the one I prefer, it says that what Elijah experienced was the sound of sheer silence. Imagine that. And on Sunday, I'm going to talk about a time when I experienced something close to sheer silence. Going from Billings, Montana to the Yellowstone National Park. I drove there, and it was kind of creepy for me. But Elijah does not hear God until he hears nothing. And I think that one of the reasons why you and I miss the sound of God is because we're too focused on the noise around us. We're focused on the noise in our life, the noise of sickness. We can't hear God because we're sick. Some of us can't hear God because we're happy. There are others who can't hear God because they're too busy listening to the voices of others. Some are like those students I talked to from this school right here who can't hear God. They can't, just like the students, can't see the beautiful, tile work because they're too busy getting on with what young people do, getting to know each other. And so I'm going to be preaching about that tomorrow. I hope you'll come, stop by our worship, 9:30 in the morning. And we got a great program. Tomorrow's Father's Day. We'll be honoring the fathers with a great tribute. And anybody who wants to say a word about your father, the good things that you think about when you think about your father, that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. And I'm going to look forward to seeing you. If you've heard this video and you come to church tomorrow, just wave your hand, give me a thumbs up, and let me know that you heard this video, because this is for you. So my friends, thanks so much, and let me share with you why I'm at Southeastern today. My wife and I have been running around. We had a couple errands to do, and I wanted to finish this promotional video. And I said, Denise, I want to go to someplace quiet. Tried to get on Belle Isle, but it was backed up with people. Some of the other places I like to go were full of people. I said, let's go to Southeastern High School. There's nothing else in this community right now. This used to be a thriving community, but it's pretty barren right now. But I go here for another reason. When I come either to or from Grosse Pointe, sometimes I ride down Buffet Street, which is behind me, and I turn to the right, the right over here, which is your left, because they just tore down Foch Middle School. My mother worked at Foch as the second job that she took as a young teacher from New Orleans. And I ride past here in a kind of nostalgic way, because I was just a little boy. I didn't know where Foch existed. But I asked myself, I wonder what side of Foch my mother parked her car. Now that may sound silly, but in a little way, that's one way that I honor my mother. So I hope you don't think that's too maudlin, too silly, but I leave you this blessing. May the road rise to meet you, the wind be always at your back, the sun shine warm upon your face, the rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may the Lord bless you, keep you, make his face to shine upon you, and be gracious unto you. God bless you, and I pray for you. Take a look.